So hello, good morning. We are here in the Spotlight TV studio from the ESGE Days 2024 in Berlin. So it's my pleasure. I am Maria Pellisé from Hospital Clinic in Barcelona, and I am now the chair of the Diversity and Equity Working Group at ESGE. And it's my pleasure to be surrounded by these three wonderful women that I will introduce. Uzma Siddiqui from University of Colorado. She's the chief
University
of the therapeutic
Chicago. Yeah.
the chief of the therapeutic endoscopy department, and Jennifer Christie, who is right now the president of ESGE, and she's in the University of Colorado, and she's the chief of GI. And then Katarzyna Pawlak, who is part of the Equity and Diversity Working Group, and she's now training in Canada.
In Toronto.
And she's from Poland. So I think that we are going to talk about sponsorship, leadership, and how to reach these kind of positions in endoscopy. And first of all, I would like to have the experience of each of us and explain a little bit where we come from and how we got there. So.
Okay, I'm happy to start. So I'm Uzma Siddiqui. I'm at the University of Chicago, as mentioned. And I would like to say that, you know, when I was a fellow, I planned every step of my career, but that would be a lie. I think a lot of us that are leaders now, and at least for me, I think it's just something that evolved over time. You know, my family is Pakistani. I grew up in Florida since I was 3, and my whole family are physicians, and my dad is a GI doctor. So when he started in GI in the 70s, he didn't know about endoscopic ultrasound or ERCP, and he always encouraged me to try this new field, and it's really been a blessing for me to do it. But then I did GI training at NYU, advanced at Yale, faculty there because I had wonderful mentors. They were men, but they were amazing. And then I've been at Chicago for 11 years and worked my way to the top of the unit. But for me, I think it was just every opportunity I was given, I just tried to always do my best, make sure that I delivered as promised, and people notice if you do a good job, your heart is in it, and they think you're authentic and you're really dedicated to your work, your patients, or whatever project you're working on. And I think that kind of builds on itself and you get more and more opportunities. But I never had a formal mentoring program ever. So I feel nowadays, and we can talk to Jennifer about it, with ASGE, they have the LEAD program that Kasia was involved in. I know ESGE is starting Young Endoscopist program and mentoring. So I don't know, I think my career could have been even better if I had a formal mentoring program, but I think if you don't have that, you just try to take advantage of every opportunity and the people you trust to get advice from. It was kind of long, but...
So, Jennifer.
Yeah, that's good. I think you did great, Uzma.
Thank you.
So my name is Jennifer Christie, and I am so happy to be here in Berlin with everyone. As Maria said, I'm the current president of the American Society for Gastrointestinal Endoscopy, and I'm also a new division director at the University of Colorado. How I got started, you know, I got started in meetings just like this, right? When I was a resident and then a fellow, I would go to various symposia or plenary sessions and just watch from afar and say, wow, I want to be there one day. But I had no idea that it would actually happen. So, you know, I was very fortunate to connect with great mentors and allies that helped to put me in positions to give a talk or organize a program or some sort of initiative. And as Uzma said, when I did it, I tried to do my very best. And people do recognize that. And then just, again, meetings like this, went up to the ASGE booth and said, how do I get more involved? And the staff member at the booth said, give me your name, and I'll email you and give you some information. And that's how it happened. So I encourage all of you to continue to network. You're here, so that's good. And then also, but walk up to some of the professional societies and really try to engage. Again, I've been fortunate to have great mentorship, allies, but I'm learning every single day. My joy is empowering other people to be their very best. So that's part of my story.
So let me be a little bit controversial. I hear very often that women are nasty to women, and that very often then when women arrive to get to power positions, they don't help the other women. What is your feeling, Kasia, about it, or what do you think?
Actually, my mentor is sitting here, Anna Kozłowska-Wichowska from Poland, and for me, she was, since I started my fellowship, I've never had this experience, but I also heard that, and I know that there are also some articles, because I was just interested about this problem, if it's really real, and I found that in one article what they described that sometimes it's related, it exists, first of all, and it's related with the fact that because we have to work much harder sometimes, we have to do much more than other people, I would say, then it causes that we are so protective to what we achieve that we don't maybe necessarily want to share, or we are afraid to share, that these feelings are not necessarily positive, right? I didn't experience that because she's here and she's amazing, but I know from colleagues that this exists, and it's sometimes even more conflicting than women to men. So what's your opinion about that?
First of all, that might be a perception that men spread that rumor. So I think that's something to acknowledge, but I agree. I think there's a competitive nature in general sometimes with leaders in any field across genders. But, you know, as you pointed out, my good friend Amrita Sethi, you know, in 2016, we had discussions, how do we bring women up? How do we empower them and get more involved in endoscopy? And she said, I want to found Women in Endoscopy. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. You're my friend. I support you. We support women, and then we've built up this international society since then. But our message has always been, if one of us succeeds, we all succeed.
Yeah.
And until we have more numbers and more of us out there, all kinds of bias and perceptions that are not probably accurate are going to persist. But luckily, I think I choose to surround myself by women who are very supportive. So I've been very fortunate.
Yeah, I've had mixed experiences. So when I was a first-year fellow, I actually, and there was one woman attending in my program, and she wasn't very nice or supportive. And it actually became sort of like a, you know, sort of a chip on my shoulder, right? And it actually drove me to work harder. And but then, you know, I have had wonderful women. Like my main mentor is a woman, and like I said, she put me in spaces where I could be more visible and grow. So it's mixed, just as it is with men that we may work with.
Yeah.
And then I have another.
Wait, Maria, you didn't tell us your thoughts on it.
Yeah. I know. I do agree with you. I think that maybe what Kasia was saying is that sometimes we need to be a little bit more perfectionist, and we need to be very focused, and that means that sometimes we can look like less nice outside, you know, because we are too focused. And it can happen that when you have gone through a very difficult path and you have been able to go through it, then when you see someone else struggling, you just feel that they need to do the same as you did.
True.
So probably it's true that we are now in a position and in a moment that we can start like to say, relax, you will get there, and everything is okay. So, but it's true that probably the previous generations were so much fighting against everything that they had that kind of super demanding to the other ones that they saw as themselves. No? And I am sure that we all have moms that were like this, and that's why we are here. No? So probably that worked very well for us to succeed, and probably it's the time to be a little bit more, let's say, gentle or tolerant, or with many other people that are different, and they are women as well, and they can succeed in other ways. No? So I think it's just a moment, because it was so hard for them, the previous ones. No? But I wanted to ask you something specific, which was about leadership. because you all occupy a position of leadership, a part of being interventional endoscopists. And leadership is also very much related with, it has been related with male gender for many time and for a long time, and I think that it's still there. So for me, I have now just have a position of leadership in the department, and I felt very often not totally confident that I really wanted to take that position. I felt that it was better to stay a little bit on the shade and be able to do whatever I wanted to do, but without this responsibility. And then I realized that this was a stupid thing. I also was proposed to be the president of the Spanish Society, and I said no for several times because I thought I really don't want to have that. And then I finally said yes, and now I am enjoying it so much. And I think, why was I saying no? What happened inside me that I didn't see myself as someone that could be the leader and that was better in the shadow doing her job? So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about that? And if you think that there are things that can be done to train you and go through this kind of impostor syndrome that we have very often?
Well, you know, Jennifer and I literally 5 minutes ago were having a discussion that when you're a leader of a group of people, not every decision you make is going to be well liked. And I know for myself, and I don't know if I can speak for all women, but I love being loved. So,
exactly.
You know, if you're putting yourself out there and you're making decisions that are going to affect other people, there is no way that every decision is going to be taken well. So I think we have to get over that, the scrutiny and the judgment that comes with it, and whether it's good, you know, well-deserved or not. Women, sometimes you get more scrutinized than the men for certain decisions, but at the same time, you enjoy it because now you do have a say in what's going to happen to your division, your unit, or in a society. You are making those decisions that will hopefully change things for the better. So that joy in pursuing those interests outweighs whatever negative things you may feel personally, and I think you just have to try to overcome that.
Yeah. And I think it's important also that, like you said, you finally said yes, right? And so now you're modeling for other women to say, wow, I can potentially do that. She looks like she's having fun. It looks like she's making, or she is making a big impact. Uzma, same thing for you. And then same thing for you as you develop in your career. And I hope that I'm doing the same thing for others, that people say, you know, she can do that and she can do it well, she can have fun, and they will be inspired to do it. The problem is that you probably didn't see many people that looked like you or that were your gender doing it. So it's scary, right? So we have to make sure we take risks. That's what we're all doing every single day, and encourage our trainees and each other to continue to take risks, and don't be afraid of failing.
Yes, according to this, what you're saying, I think for us, less experience is even worse to apply for some leadership positions because we are super not confident inside. We don't feel if it's the right time, if it's a good moment to apply. And just I applied for I group chair position, and now we will have this election. So I'm very stressed. So regarding to this leadership, what would be the key tips from you to your mentee to how to get leadership position? What you would advise?
Well, you start.
to get the position?
Yes.
Well, if you're on a committee, do a good job, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be in the back of the room. Sit in the front and ask questions. No question is a bad question. Don't be afraid to be controversial either, right? Sometimes people need to be uncomfortable. It may make you uncomfortable to say certain things, but if you believe it to be true, it is of value, you think it will help the organization or the group, bring it up, have a discussion, and people will say, okay, yeah, we didn't think about that, or I was thinking about that too, but I was too afraid to say it, right? So I would say just participate, take risk, continue to interface with your mentors, and put your name in the hat. So congratulations.
Yes. I was going to say there's never a moment that you feel is the right time for anything. So, but you said this is the time I'm going to try. So I commend you for that at this early in your career. And what you said, Jennifer, I think is very true. If you're on a committee and you just sit there quietly in the corner, man or woman, nobody is going to pay attention to you. They won't even know you were there. So if you have an opportunity, and I make it a point, if there are other young women on any committee or meeting that I'm at the break, if they haven't said something, I go up to them and say, hey, you have an opinion, you were asked to be here, you should say something, in the next part of the meeting, because that's the only way people will know that you care and that you have some opinions that are probably very valid and bring new perspectives to a discussion, and that's how you get noticed. So I think men are very good about promoting themselves.
Oh, yeah.
You know that. So I think women are not as good about doing that, but we're getting better.
And do you think, because now we have been talking a lot about women, but I think that women is just one of the things, but it's diversity. Have you ever had the feeling while you are doing this career, even you, or I can tell you for myself, that you were just different, and that what you were going to provide was different, and maybe was not valuable because it was different, because you have role models that are not exactly as you feel, no? And I think that this is very much related with gender, of course, because we work differently. We don't promote ourselves. We like to have net. We like to be loved. So that makes us to work differently. But maybe it's we are much more imperfect. You have noticed it, because I was like not knowing where I had to go 5 minutes ago, no? So, but at the end I get to the point, no? You know. So what do you think about this kind of diversity in having leadership roles and working to show that you can get to the point from different sides?
Well, that's exactly why, we are here, right? Because we know, and data shows, that any organization, business, school is better when it's more diverse, because you're bringing those different perspectives, right? So as a woman, as a black woman, or as a Hispanic woman, or whatever race or ethnicity or even religion, right, that may be different, you bring a unique perspective that is valuable. And like I said, I had to learn that it truly is valuable. And I had to say things in the room that made people uncomfortable, because they were all wanting to be comfortable. But it's those things, like you said, that got me noticed and helped the organizations that I've been in grow and be better.
So I think that this was an excellent point to finish our Spotlight studio. And I think that this is a strong message we want to give. Diversity is very important. Trust on yourself. Trust on what you are. Be authentic. Work hard, and you will get there. So thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much, Kasia, as well.
Thank you.
And I think we are finished. Thank you.
Thank you.